ICE agent and a member of this community, by the way, shut the fuck up. There is 0% chance that you are literally. I had a personal altercation with Brad Lander. He was still kind to us despite being there to confront us. I would want him to get elected, even though he would make our job much harder. Brother, what could you possibly be getting out of being a part of this community? I genuinely don't understand. Quit your job right now, okay? Quit your fucking job right now. Quit your fucking job right now. Dude, what the fuck? How do you get any satisfaction out of this? How can you get, I call you motherfuckers Gestapo every day. How is that possible? You're not enforcing immigration laws, dumbass. You're just basically harassing random people. The entire point of immigration, like if Donald Trump's presented argument was correct, that like these undocumented migrants were actually an ever-present danger to regular American citizens, then it would be justifiable to actually apprehend them as long as you follow due process. But that's not the fucking case. The people that you are literally kidnapping from their court hearings, as you have personal altercations with Brad Lander, are people who are no different than you. They're no different than you. As a matter of fact, they actually have a helpful output in general. They're a part of the productive forces. You're not. They do more for this country than you do. That's crazy. I genuinely don't understand how you could be in here day in, day out. I swear I've been here for like the past 4 to 5 years. First of all, you've been an account created December 4th, following since December 4th. So I don't know about that. I need money. It's not an easy job, but I got pills to pay. I can't just quit. I don't brutalize them. I don't harass them. I don't get joy out of it. It's my job. Brother, quit your job and get something else. Quit your job and do something else. I promise you. Okay? It will be better for your morality and maybe even better down the line when there might be some legal repercussions for the actions that you engaged in. Because there is going to be a point. Right now, you think there is a point where you could just be like, oh yeah, I'm just following orders. I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. You are already engaging in a bunch of fucking immoral behavior. Okay? How can you sit there and feel like what you're doing is good for the goddamn country when you're literally ripping away families in a court right after they leave the immigration court hearing? Like, how can you at any given point look at what you're doing there and go, well, a job is a job. You know, it is what it is. Like, your job is kidnapping random fucking people who could just as easily get their paperwork done. If they had more money, then they would not even be considered illegal. Let's be real. That's the exact same thing that Nazis said, by the way. I'm just following orders. That's what they said. And that's what you're doing right now. If you've genuinely been in this community for fucking every day at 26 Federal Plaza, we have a list of people with criminal offenses who will get their cases dismissed. We don't take anybody. We take specific people. Dude, we just showed that your own ICE data shows that the largest group of immigrants that are being detained right now, the largest growth in immigrants being detained, have no criminal background whatsoever. What are you talking about? No, you don't take specific people. That's ridiculous. That is fucking ridiculous. You think ICE is taking specific people. Maybe your unit has only taken specific people. But the reality of the matter is that's not what's going on. How can you say that? They're fucking detaining American citizens all the goddamn time. It's ridiculous. And once again, even the specific people that you are detaining, even the specific people that you think you're detaining, are being detained and being deported because of paperwork. It is ridiculous. Deportation is a very violent process in general, being ripped away from your friends, your family, your job, everything that you know. The punishment needs to be suitable for the crime. If the crime is just, sorry, we're never going to give you the proper paperwork as we fucking use and abuse you, knowing full well, and if you've been an ICE agent for years, you know this already, ICE agents know exactly where the undocumented migrants are because there's a handshake agreement, at least under different administrations, as to people playing ball with ICE that will never get their paperwork cleared, but everybody knows exactly where they are. Everybody knows that they're not like violating the fucking laws in an egregious manner. At most, it's like unpaid bills or traffic violations or moving violations or whatever the fuck. Okay, you're out here making it seem like you're you got people with criminal offenses like fucking rapists and baby decapitators or some shit. You either are gaslighting yourself into believing that because the facts don't actually bear that out at all. The data doesn't include crimes like DUI. DUI is a big part of people we target right now. And trust me, we do take specific people. I can't talk for ERO New York. I can talk for ERO New York, but can't for the entire country. But yes, I'm not even going to get into like whether or not someone who is engaged in a fucking DUI or at least arrested for a DUI, not convicted, arrested for a DUI is worthy of fucking deporting from the goddamn country. Defense attorney here, ICE is literally notorious in courts here for literally just sitting in courtrooms and seeing if anyone has an immigration issue and then just fucking taking them. It's not specific people. They would literally just go to court and listen for people to deport. Exactly. Yeah, ICE be like, no, nine. You don't understand it. We are only taking the bad Jews, yeah? The bad Jews. The bad Juden. Not the good Juden. All right? I can't speak for everyone else in the SS, but mine unit is only taking the bad Jews and not the good ones. Like, oh, dude, you guys had before I lose your attention, I need you to ask something. You always say we need to give amnesty to people. Even if we did, wouldn't we then have to enforce immigration laws? Yes, there is a point where immigration laws can be enforced, but that process is paperwork. You realize that you are fucking apprehending and deporting people for paperwork problems, right? At the end of the day, that's all this is. The punishment for a DUI is a punishment for a DUI, okay? The punishment for a DUI on top of paperwork issues should not mean that someone gets fucking lasered out and shipped off to CCOT in El Salvador into a slave labor camp. What the fuck? What I'm doing is enforcing laws that the Congress passed. How come Congress people don't get any smoke, but I get screamed at every day? Brother, because you're the one who's doing the enforcement. Fuck the Congress people. You think we like the Congress people? If you've been in here for 4 to 5 years, who the fuck do you think I like in Congress? What are you, crazy? Go deport them. I think the American government, the American people would celebrate you for doing that instead of deporting random fucking landscapers. What the fuck? That's the whole point. No one who's actually worthy of any sort of serious scrutiny, serious cruelty ever gets the fucking receiving end of said punishment. It's always random vulnerable people that haven't actually done anything. And it's all just people justifying why they have to do this all the way down. Ice Agent on Twitch, I don't believe it. I do believe it. He probably got banned in a previous account. That's why he's in here in a sock account. If he's been in here for 4 to 5 years, it does make sense. Not this community, but people recording raids yell Nazi SS scum all the time, but no one gets to Congress and yells at them. Wait, yes, they do. Also, Congresspersons are not as accessible as an ICE agent who is doing the fucking deportation in that moment. This doesn't mean that they're not criminal scumbags either. And in opportune moments, when they are in broad daylight in public, people do that same exact thing. They're just not in public as frequently as a fucking ICE agent is. Ask me specific questions if you don't believe me, but I have a different account, but I just didn't want to dox the account I always use. Oh my God, this is like... That's crazy. That's crazy. I always wondered, like, are there any cops in here? Because I shit on cops so much. But it turns out there's ICE agents, so there might as well be fucking cops in here too. How the fuck does that even work? Like, I get why there are veterans in this community, because I do actually consistently talk about, you know, how brainwashed every American citizen is. But like, maybe a former cop or something. I was shocked when there was a British cop that actually approached me and told me he was a fucking fan. But I guess they're British, so they were just like thinking I'm only shitting on American cops or something. I don't know. Brother, I know the job market is ass. Okay, I get it. I understand it. But there is no honor in this, okay? If there was honor in this, you wouldn't be trying to fucking, you know, justify it with self-soothing statements over and over again, being like, listen, I don't know. It's just a job. It's all this shit. He put a digital mask on by creating a second account. Because, like, at the end of the day, you know how I always say cops need to do their jobs, like, and they're not doing their jobs. And there's also, like, detectives and shit, too, obviously. Like, there is a valid purpose for it, okay? But there is no valid purpose for ICE. It's not defending the American borders. It's not defending anything at all. There's a valid for customs. There's a valid for Border Patrol. There's a valid reason for Border Patrol to exist. There's a valid reason for INS to exist. But the whole point of INS is supposed to literally conduct very rarely deportation initiatives, And for the most part, recognize if someone is actually recognize if someone's like paperwork is actually out of date or something, is to go to them and be like, your paperwork is out of date. You have to fix this. You have to go to fucking court. Like, that's in a normal circumstance. That's how it's supposed to be. INS isn't a thing anymore. I know. I'm just saying that's what it used to be. It used to be INS. That is what it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to work in this situation. As a vet, I get where you're coming from, but most of the dudes I serve with kind of deserve to be on the streets with a single Hello Kitty sock and a drinking problem. Okay, that's crazy. I don't plan on doing this forever. I would like to move on to HSI or FBI or something, but yeah, right now this is what I have to deal with. Oh my God, brother. Well, good luck, because there's not any funding on that other side either. HSI or FBI, great. Bro, you have to quit your job. I'm serious. You have to quit your job and also leak all of the fucked up shit that they've done to a journalist immediately. Maybe even you can write a book about it if you want, but that's crazy. Like, I understand the job market not being shit, but that's crazy that you're like, well, job market's not shit, so I have to fucking apprehend random abuelas outside of a fucking courthouse because the current administration has decided that they ain't shit, that we're basically going to use them as a fucking talking point. You know what I mean? We're just basically going to use them. We're going to use these people that we have abused for years and years as a way to make 20% of the population feel superior and not recognize how hard they're getting ass fucked too. Because everyone's getting fucked in this situation except for the 1%. And basically all these guys are doing is like throwing red meat in front of people, and that red meat happens to be the deportation and apprehension of some of the most vulnerable people in American society that have done nothing, really. Hey, Hasan, I'm a longtime fascist community member. I agree with most of the things you say, but I just believe in a culture in-group and strong corporate control over the economy. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. You shouldn't join the military either, okay? You should not join the military either. Don't do this, okay? Do anything but that. Don't join the police force. Do not join the military. Do not join ICE. Definitely do not join ICE. Holy shit.